The reason you're worth what you're worth is because you think that's what you're worth. And you're never going to outperform that until you change that. So you have to change your self-worth. If you want to change your net worth, change your self-worth. Does this make sense? You have to rack up the wins, guys. That's just simply set small goals every day and hit them. Walk one more mile on a treadmill. Call one more customer. Shake one more hand. Do something a little bit more than yesterday. Have 2 less French fries. That's a win, man. Dropping Bombs is my podcast. I started a long time ago, about 4 years ago. It's getting pretty known, so I was just wondering. But the main reason I started that podcast was ultimately to get the knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it, which became my life mission. And the reason why is because I think people fail because they don't have the right information. And if we can just get the right information from the people who have it and then get it to the people who need it, we're all going to live in a world that's more successful. And that's the goal, right? Now, a lot of people say, well, why do you care so much, Brad? And I say, well, I don't know. But I think I've been thinking about it. The truth is, I think when my dad, because my dad was kind of blue-collar my whole life, never really made anything financially out of himself, but it wasn't because he wasn't willing to work hard. Who here works hard? And by the way, by noise, because I can only see a few of you right here. Other than that, it's like, but you guys work hard, right? We put in the work, we put in the effort, we do what we're told, and we still can't figure out why we're not where we want to be. And, that's the way my dad was. So I think that's why I want to help people get the knowledge. Because if I think my dad got the knowledge, he would have gave me a bunch of money. Because anybody that tells you, I'm glad I didn't get a bunch of money, I go, what? Like, dude, I wish someone gave me $10 million. I swear to God, people are like, oh, he's born with a spoon in his mouth. So what? Don't be jealous. He got lucky. He got a parent that handed him a shit ton of money. Oh, that'll ruin you. Did you get a shit ton of money? No? Well, then shut the fuck up. Everybody wants to tell you everything, but again, it doesn't come from anybody that knows anything. Like the other day, I made a post on social media, and I said something about making a bunch of money, and you can't get rich making poor choices. Right? Sounded cool. Can't get rich making poor choices. Hey, that sounds good. Let me fucking give that out. So I give it out, and of course you get these idiots that say, actually that's not true, Brad. I'm like, really? You got a lot of money? No, but shut the fuck up then. And I'm telling you guys, listen, so my whole podcast was started because I had all these people coming in my studios, because I have the training software that I have, Lightspeed, and they were all coming in. I'm thinking, dude, I need to get this knowledge out there, so I'm going to start a podcast. And while they're here filming anyway, might as well sit down. There's probably no harm in asking. So I started asking them, hey, you want to sit down and do a little podcast? They said, sure. So I thought, okay, it's my obligation. If that's my mission to get the knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it, man, these people are coming in. Let me sit them down, start talking to them, and getting that knowledge out there. Well, over the years, as it got more and more popular and people started listening to it more and more and the names got bigger and bigger, it's like, I thought to myself, now I get emails from people telling me they changed my life, Brad. You changed my life. I had one guy walk up, he says, dude, and literally, it happened here today. This isn't the person I'm talking about, but he's in the room somewhere. Holler out if you said I changed your life today. There he is, no. But it's not this dude. This dude walked up and he said, you changed my life, and I was looking at him and his lip was quivering. So I'm like, I knew he meant it. Like it was really, emotional for him to tell me how much I changed his life. And I said, damn, what did I say? I'm trying to figure out, I can't even change my own fucking life, and I'm changing yours? Shit. What did I say? What am I missing? So he said, you came out on stage and you told everyone to brush their teeth. And I'm like, I remember that, yeah. And he goes, and I'm like, dude, you didn't know to brush your fucking teeth? It's the same thing with this thing. Like I tell people every time I meet them, you guys want to know the best $5 you'll ever spend? Right here. Because people come up to me and they say, Brad, I want to pitch you an idea. Brad, you got 6 minutes? I say, sure. They have something to pitch me. So I say, sure, because I'm down to earth. I don't realize I'm fucking cool and celebrity. But hey, whatever, I'll listen to you. Why? Because there's opportunities. You guys got to understand something. Relationships produce every dollar you've ever received. So if you want more money, get more relationships. Make sense? Again, it's not rocket science shit. I dropped out of high school. I got to 11th grade and figured, I don't need this shit. I done humped all the ladies. I gotta go. So I shouldn't even be up here. I shouldn't even be successful technically. You check all the boxes. I should be in jail or just Joe average, just Joe broke, because I believe all the shit. But the difference is I didn't believe the shit. I questioned the norm. I questioned authority. I flew in the face of conventional wisdom. And here's what I suggest to you. Do the same. Quit believing all the people. Quit listening to all the shit. Even in me. Question things. Now, if you think back, was I ever tested to question everything? No, you probably weren't. If you're like me, you were told to shut up and sit down. Do what you're told. Well, fortunately, I didn't. One time, my dad and I were driving to the mall, and we see all this commotion over at this hotel room. My dad stops down, rolls down the window, and says, "What's going on?" They said, "Elvis is at the hotel." My dad says, "Hey, you want to meet Elvis, son?" I said, "Fuck yeah, dude. It's the king." And by the way, for those of you that don't know who Elvis is, Elvis was a musical star back in the day. Okay? You look him up, Google him, you'll see. He was big. But anyway, so I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to see Elvis. So my dad parks the car, we go in and we walk in, and there's this big old massive crowd and these security guards holding them back and these ropes that were out and everything. And my dad said, we can't go. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, well, they're not letting anybody through. And I said, what do you mean? He said, look, they're not letting anybody through. And I swear to you, when I looked, I didn't see a bunch of people being stopped by guards. I saw the fucking pathway through all their legs. I'm like fucking right there. I fucking beelined it. Keep in mind, I'm only like 6 or 7 years old. I beeline it through all these asses. I'm going by shit that smells so bad no 6-year-old should ever have to smell what I was smelling, popping through this line. And I'm going bing, 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 and I go right past the guards, right underneath the ropes, right down the aisle, and boom, there's a big old double door. They fly open, and the fucking king is sitting there looking at me. He looks, he goes, how you doing, little man? I said, fucking, hey, how you doing? He passed me on the head, turns and starts walking down the hallway. And then I'm looking this way because that's where everyone was not allowed. That's when everyone was listening to the guards. Now, I don't advise that you go break the law, but I do advise that you question authority, question the narrative, question the norm. If I would have just listened, I would have never met the king, or actually I'd say now, he never would have got to meet me. So that's what I would say to you. And again, I don't have much time today, but what I want to share with you guys today, because after the podcast I started realizing, I'm getting a lot of this knowledge myself. So how come I'm not, sharing, and how come I'm not teaching, and how come I'm not, getting people ahead? Because I always thought, well, no, we got this guy and that guy and these people, and they got plenty of information. No, if you have information, if you have a better way of doing things, I feel that you should feel obligated to get it out to the world so other people can succeed as well. Now, a lot of people will, well, wait a minute, that's my competitor. That is a scarcity mindset. You need to have an abundant mindset. You guys know the difference, right? So like when someone says, hey, give me $50,000 and join my group, people are like, $50,000 fucking dollars? That's a lot. I'm not going to do that. Well, why aren't you going to do that? Well, what if? What is that? That is scarcity. They don't realize there's tons of more money in the world. Do you realize that? There is no shortage of money in the world. There's only a shortage of people willing to go get it. So I don't ever worry about how much something is. If I have the money, the question is do I think it's worth it or not? I'm not worried about I might not make more money. I know I'll make more money. I know that there's people in this room right now that will be multi-millionaires. There's probably a bunch of them that already are, obviously. But there's going to be people right now that are listening to this, leave, and 2 years from now go, I remember what that dude was saying, and he's 100% fucking correct. It's 100% correct. And I keep saying it to myself, like, damn, dude, like, I'm pretty fucking smart now. It took me 54 years. If you just saw me back when I was your age, dude, I'd have just been, Anyway, there's two things I want to share with you guys today, okay? Two things that I want to share so everybody, hopefully has the ability to make more money and be more successful financially. And by the way, money alone doesn't make you successful, okay? Let me say that again. Money by itself doesn't make you successful. I know a lot of people that have a lot of money and they're miserable as hell. You don't want to be that person, trust me. Now, some of you that are broke are going to think, yeah, I would. I'd love to be rich and miserable. Okay, it is better than broke and miserable. Okay? It is better than broke and miserable, but you don't want to be miserable. And you don't want to be miserable in the pursuit of money. You know what I'm saying? You want to have it all. You want to have both. And trust me, it is totally available to you, but it requires perspective. So I'm going to try to give you guys something over the next few minutes that will allow you to build a massive business if you want, to make as much money as you want, and ultimately to get anything that you want. But I'm out of time. Ryan only gave me like a split second for some reason. I'm joking. No, he said take as long as you like. So for the next 4 hours, the two things I want to talk to you about. Okay, so if you guys don't know my story, I helped somebody. I was always out for me up till about 30 years old. All I wanted to do was get rich, get rich, get rich. And I tried, like running around, doing everything, hustling, grinding, working hard, listening to the norm. I wasn't questioning anything. I knew what I was supposed to do. Everybody tells me what it is, and boom, 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 boom. Up to about 30 years old, didn't really make anything. I made maybe $600,000-700,000 a year, but that's it. And by the way, if y'all think that's rich, pay attention, folks. That's not rich, and I think most of you know that, especially nowadays. So that's as far as I could get, and in my opinion, was not successful. So I couldn't figure out why I couldn't win. I was doing everything everybody told me. Then I accidentally decided to help some dude. Mexican dude, worked at my dealership, brought him up front, taught him how to sell, changed his whole life. He went from minimum wage to $15,000, $20,000 every month. Dude, I watched his whole existence change. I watched his wife become happier. His kids became happier. And people are like, what do you mean? Like his kids would come in like this before, they were wearing old beat up clothes and they weren't talking. As soon as he started making money, they were walking in the fucking Nikes and shit. They were walking in, what up, Brad? And I watched this whole family change, and for the better. It wasn't for the worse, it was for the better. He started donating more. He was big into church. He was going to church, donating. I mean, he was being a real good guy, and I thought, man, that was cool. I want to be able to do that for a living. So for the first time, I quit my job to go help other people, and that's when really success started finding me. See what I'm saying? It's ultimately quit trying to figure out how to get rich. Quit trying to figure out how to go make a bunch of money and just start figuring out how to go help a bunch of people. And I'm not even joking. That sounds cliche, but it's fucking true. So I started this business, and the business, over the last 20 years, became an 8-figure, almost 9-figure company, okay? I started other companies that are doing well as well, but for 20 years, it took me to build this company into an 8-figure company. And it wouldn't have happened if I didn't have any stupidity. Like, I just kept believing it was going to happen, and then it happened. However, that's what made me quit my job and start this company. But 20 years to build an 8-figure company, I would not recommend. People are like, I'll do it. No. I know you'll do it, and so would I if I had a choice to do it over again. But you don't want to. You know the best way to get rich? Quickly. Now, people will say that's not possible. Bull fucking shit. You ever heard of Dogecoin? Dude, there's a bunch of crypto billionaires walking around this fucking earth right now looking like total dipshits, don't know their ass from the hole in the ground. They fucking bought some stupid ass crypto, and now they're fucking rich. Quick! Getting rich quick does exist. And by the way, it's probably not in real estate, but, it's possible, I suppose. Real estate takes work. Okay, real estate, and by the way, this is, WealthCon. Ryan called and he says, hey, can you talk a little bit about real estate? And I said, this ain't real estate con, is it? This is WealthCon, so I want to talk about wealth. Because really, why are you in real estate, most of you? If I can get wealthy. That's just a vehicle. So I want to talk about how do you get wealthy. And you get wealthy by building a personal brand. Now someone said, what are you talking about? Again, it took me 20 years to build that company. And I got lucky, I got to tell you. I am lucky. I'm one of the luckiest guys on the planet. And I got lucky. You don't want to strategize and hope that you're lucky. I got lucky, so it worked. Thank you. But now that I build a personal brand, I can build a 7-8-figure company like almost overnight. Like I can sell more real estate than you can fucking sell because of my personal brand. I can buy more real estate than you can fucking buy because of my personal brand. There's a bunch of you right now, very successful, that would partner with me if I just sent you thousands of people around the country that are hunting for our deals. You know what I'm saying? So they'll bring me the deal, and I'll give you the deal, and you do what you do, and I'll get you 1,000 more deals than you've ever seen. Why? Personal brand. So the question is what can I share with you that would literally make the biggest impact if you're listening and you're willing to do it? And that is how to build a personal brand. So I want to talk about that for 2 seconds. And guys, pay attention and write this shit down, because it's not if it works, it does work. Okay, but you have to be willing to do it. Now, I normally will start out by saying you have to be the content, right? You have to be the content. And then you have to, basically hire or do creative work, headlines, subtitles. You got to know what outlets to put it on. You got to know how often to do it. And then eventually you get to paid. But I used to talk about all of that and then find out later that nobody really did anything. And I couldn't figure out why they didn't do anything. And I'm like, why didn't they do anything? And ultimately, because in order to be the content, in order to put yourself on social media, in order to do the videos and the posts that you actually need to do to start winning and growing and scaling, you have to actually not give a fuck. And too many of you actually do. You know what you give a rat's ass about? What other people think. Write this word down: allodoxophobia. A-L-L-O, allo, dox, D-O-X-O, phobia. If you don't know phobia, it's F-O, no, just joking. P-H-O-B-I-A, allodoxophobia. It's the fear of other people's opinion. And the reason you won't post the shit I tell you to post, because you worry about what other people are going to think. And you don't, and you might even post it because you got some huevos. Who did I say? I'll say huevos. By the way, if you see me before an event, just dare me to say shit on stage. Got no problem with it whatsoever. I'll fit it in somehow, some way. Somebody came in, I dare you to say huevos. I said, I'll say that easy. I've had worse ones than that. But allodoxophobia is the fear of other people's opinion. Most people have the fear of other people's opinion so much that they don't do anything, and they won't do anything. And some of them won't do anything because they ultimately don't value their own opinions, their own self-worth. And trust me when I say this, you're never going to outperform your own self-image. If I was you, I'd write that down and read it over and over again. The reason you're worth what you're worth is because you think that's what you're worth. And you're never going to outperform that until you change that. So you have to change your self-worth. If you want to change your net worth, change your self-worth. Does this make sense? I mean, I know a guy, he might even be in the room right now. I know a guy, he charged a whole bunch of people a whole bunch of money to show up for a 2-day workshop at his house to and I ain't describing Ryan. I know you guys think, oh, I know where he's going. No, I'm not. This guy's not Ryan, but he charged a whole bunch of people a whole bunch of money to show up at his house for 2 days to show them how to make more money than they've ever made in their entire life. And they showed up and they paid that money. And then they left and they fucking made more money than they've ever made in their entire lives. Is that crazy? Well, guess what he said basically in the 2 days? Raise your price. Hey, you want to spend an hour a week with me helping you become a business badass? Well, check out my group in the link below. Again, if he were here and he heard me say that, he'd say, well, it's 95% of it. The truth is, he got people to value themselves over that 2 days. He got people to realize that you're fucking valuable. People went over there, they didn't have any value for themselves. So they were charging $500 for an hour or whatever their pricing was. And when they left, they said, dude, I'm worth $5,000 a fucking hour. And they started charging more. And they started making more than they've ever made. What was the magic? What was the secret? What was the information that was worth so much money? Value yourself more. I just saved you guys $50,000. And by the way, I don't know if he charged $50,000, but it was a chunk of money because he made a shit ton of money, and that's why people gave it to him. They're like, fuck, how are you doing it? And then he's like, I'm charging you more. They're like, fuck, I can do that? He's like, yes. Let me try. Boom, holy shit, this shit works. And that's the bottom line. You had to value yourself more, and most people don't value themselves, and that's the problem. You're going to run around for the next 3 years trying to go to all these events, and you ain't going to do shit because the actions you take are going to be based on the beliefs that you have. And the belief is you're not worth anything. You're not worth millions of dollars. You're not worth all the success you're seeing people have, and that's why you're not having it. So what I want to do is give you the 6 steps to fix that. Number 1, you ultimately have to forgive yourself. Sounds lame, but it's true. You forgive yourself for all the shit you've put yourself through. If you were your best friend, dude, you'd punch yourself in the nose. If you go back and look at all the ways you've screwed yourself, you treat yourself worse than most people do. Would you agree? You got to stop that shit. Forgive yourself. Number 2, commit to do what you say you're going to do. It's not that difficult. You do what you say you're going to do, period. It's a decision. Number 3, you start racking up the wins. Confidence comes from the memory of winning. If I beat everybody's ass in here, I'd walk around here. If someone walked up and said, you want to fight? I'd be like, fuck yeah. Dude, I'll fucking crush your nuts, male or female. I'd be all, nowadays we don't know, but all I know is, dude, I'd walk around here mighty confident. If I beat everybody's ass in this room and someone out there said, hey, you want to fight? I'd be like, fuck yeah. But that's because I remember all those wins. So what do? Again, not rocket science. Let's start creating wins daily. So instead of saying, hey, I'm going to go make $1 million this month and then come short, how about, is making $100 a win, yes or no? And again, you get to decide. I don't get to decide because I'd say no. You'd say, well, fuck yeah, for me it is. Good, don't worry about what other people think. Don't get allodoxophobia. You decide what a win is. I believe brushing my teeth is a win. I win every fucking day. As soon as I wake up, I'm winning. I do. I walk around, man, I'll fucking brush my damn teeth. And by the way, trust me, you're never going to catch me with shitty breath. I'm telling you, dude, I know people, their breath is so bad, I'm scrolling Instagram and I fucking hold my nose. It's terrible. And you don't want to get caught with bad breath more than 2 times. Once is okay, like, damn, motherfucker. Next day, that's the stinky breath dude right there. And every time I see him, I don't want to even talk to him. Why? His breath is going to stink even if it doesn't. So, where was I? So you have to rack up the wins, guys. That's just simply set small goals every day and hit them. Walk 1 more mile on a treadmill. Call 1 more customer. Shake 1 more hand. Do something a little bit more than yesterday. Have 2 less French fries. That's a win, man. And if it isn't a win, who gets to decide? Who are you listening to? You decide. So why the fuck would you decide it's not a win if it is a win? Because to me, as long as you're moving forward, you're okay. It's when you're just sitting there. You're either growing or you're freaking dying. Even if you're sitting in the right place, dude, you're going to get run over if you're not going anywhere. So rack up the wins every single day. Figure out small things that you know you can do. It's not a stretch goal. Those are okay, but it's not what I'm talking about. Small wins. That's number 3. Now what'll start happening is you're going to forgive yourself. That'll kind of feel weird and stupid. And then you'll be like, hey, wait a minute. And then you're going to commit to do what you say you're going to do, and then you're going to start racking up the wins, and over about 30, 45 days, you're going to start walking taller, feeling better. You're going to look around at your shit, and you're going to be like, I can do better than this. I know I can do better than this. And then step 4 comes into play, where other people are going to start saying, dude, I like you better the other way. What are you, listening to Brad Lee now you think you're fucking going to be rich? Like, dude, I can't even believe that you think, like, it's all this negativity. And what's crazy is sometimes it comes from the people we love. Sometimes it comes from the people that should be encouraging us. And what's crazy is they think they are. They think talking sense to you, come on, dude, you're not going to be rich. That's love. They don't realize that's not fucking love. They aren't your friend if they're not encouraging you. And I'm not talking about criticism, like I'm going to critique and try to give you positive, constructive criticism. Don't get pissed just because someone says you're fat. Okay? If you're fucking fat, you're fat. That's not fucking negative. I asked the other day, I said, would you shame somebody if you knew it would work? They're like, well, I don't know about that. We're not supposed to shame people. If I knew it would work, I would shame somebody. I try all the time, but it doesn't work. Like, I'll make fun of somebody only hoping that they'll change it because, you know, it's happened to me. Dude, people made fun of me so much, I just finally stopped doing it. Like, I used to paint my fucking hair dumb colors. Hey, his mom ain't here, is he? Last year I went to his event and I said, listen, if he didn't have a personal brand, he'd be a broke Filipino boy. And by the way, that's the truth. And guess what? His mom was out there. She didn't like me. And I don't want to be not liked by moms and grandmas and shit, so like now I screwed that up. But I hope she'll forgive me. But the truth be told is, you know, you got to rack up those wins, and then step 4 is to make sure that nobody can frickin' deter you from your journey, from your goal. Why? Because you're more important than they are. What? You're more important than they are. I'm more important than they are? Aren't you? I am. I'm the most important person in my life. Now, a lot of you are going, oh my God, I can't believe he's saying that. What a dick. Dude, it's not a dick. It's not a dick. That is what you need to do. You need to raise your self-worth. You need to raise your value because you are worth more. And you have to believe that you're worth more in order to get more. So in step 4, when people start talking shit because they don't like the fact that you're walking taller and actually feel like you deserve more, and you don't tell them to shut up, you listen to them, you're going to slide right back down to what you're doing, and you're never going to fucking power through it. How do you power through it? You don't listen to them. You get rid of the negativity. You get rid of the stupidity. And then step 5. Step 5's easy, dude. You map out and visualize exactly what it is you think success looks like. I ask people all the time, what do you think success is? And they go, because they've never thought about it. You guys spend some time and think. What does success look like to you? Be specific. You need to know exactly what it looks like. If I told you outside there, hey, go in there and find somebody, first thing out of your mouth would be, well, what do they look like? But yet you're out trying to find fucking success like this. What does it look like? Let me tell you, I don't know. But I'm looking for it. Okay? You got to know exactly what it looks like. You got to know exactly what it looks like, and then you need to visualize it. Visualization actually works. You need to visualize it. What does it feel like? What does it smell like? How much is there? Does it taste good? Don't get crazy, folks. And then step 6, you need to seek new information on a regular basis, guys. On a regular basis. You should be reading a book every single day. Every single day, read the book. I was just on a podcast right before this. They said, what were the 3 most books that changed your life? I said, the Torah, the Quran, and the Bible. No, we'll pick one. I don't have to pick one. I can read them all. And I keep reading every day, all day. But in reality, as a man thinketh, the 4 agreements, how to win friends, influence people, the magic of thinking big. Like I can go over and over. My book, The Hard Way. Read them. Every day, seek new information, because the reason is this. If you want to change what you're getting, you got to change what you're doing. If you want to change what you're doing, you have to change what you believe, because the reason you do what you do is because you believe what you believe. So to change your beliefs, you have to get new information. If it's the same old information you've always had, you will not change your beliefs. You have to get new information. Where does new information exist? Anybody? Books! Books! They're little fucking things like that. They got information in them. Don't read the shampoo bottle while you're taking a shit. Pick up a book. And you do it every single day. Every single day. Okay, because you want new information, because when you get that new information, you'll start to change your beliefs, because it causes you to think. And most people aren't thinking. You just think you're thinking, but you're not thinking. You got to think, man. I know very wealthy people that plan time to think. I go, what do? They go, I fucking think. I'm like, okay, let me try it. And dude, it works. Thinking works. So new information causes you to think, and it causes you to change your beliefs and start questioning the narrative and start asking questions and start saying, wait a minute. And boom, your actions change. And when your actions change, your results change, and that's the only way you're going to get change. Can I get an amen? Amen. So guys, don't sit there and take a bunch of notes and then go do the same shit. Continue to do it every single day of your life. That was the first thing I wanted to teach you. If you guys do those 6 things, I'm telling you right now, you're going to raise your self-worth, and if you raise your self-worth, you're going to raise your net worth. The last thing, and I'm out of time, so I want to do this quick. The last thing I want to teach you guys is how to get anything you want in life, and it's the fucking truth. Whether you believe me or not, this is how you do it. First thing you do is figure out what it is. Okay, that's the hard part. Figure out what it is. Most people, that's easy. No, that's the hard part, man. I'm still doing it. Figure out what it is. Number 2, figure out how to get it. Someone's going to be like, well, that's the hard part. No, that's the easy part. You know how you figure out how to get it? You guys, let me teach you how to get anything you want. Figure out what it is, and then figure out how to get it. You're like, well, no shit. No shit. And let me tell you something. Here's how you get it. Find someone who's already got it. Find someone who's already done it. Join a fucking group of people that are already doing it. It ain't rocket science. There's people out there that know exactly what it is you want to do and can do and should do, but you're not joining them. You're not hanging around them. You're not listening. You're not learning. Why? Because everybody said those are a bunch of fucking scammers, dude. They're just trying to get your money, and you don't want to lose your money. Why? Because there's not much of it. That's scarcity bullshit. You get what you want by figuring out what it is, finding someone who's already got it, who's already doing it, who already knows the way to do it. And then thirdly, go do the work. Okay? Do the fucking work. My name's Brad Lee. Thanks for having me.
The biggest problem I've had as a CEO is being a team builder. And that's one thing that a true CEO has to be, is a better team builder for the business side. But that's what you do at the start. I'm going to rationalize, but a lot of people at the start, they try to do all the work themselves. And that's a common misconception that it's even possible.